So UFC 273 is less than 24 hours away, and I thought I would start a series on my page. I've seen a few people do it, so I thought I might as well join in the fun and go along with it and do it as well. I give my brief prediction on the main event, the co-main event, and if there's any fights on the card that the people are sort of interested in and I'm interested in myself. So yeah, we're going to start it. I'm very fucking late to this, but we're going to start it with UFC 273. So the first fight that I'm going to give a prediction for is Khamzat Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns. Now, who do I think is going to win this fight? I do believe Khamzat Chimaev is going to win this fight, although I do love Gilbert Burns. I think Gilbert Burns is an unbelievable fighter. Obviously, he's fought the best. He's fought Usman. He unfortunately did lose. However, he has got Usman, I'm pretty sure, in his corner for this fight, which is kind of crazy considering Gilbert Burns is still a high contender for a rematch for the welterweight belt. However, Khamzat, I'm obviously aboard the hype train for him. He's looked unbelievable in his last few fights. He's undefeated in the UFC and undefeated in his MMA career as well. He's just so well-rounded. He can take you down, he can knock you out, he has that knockout power, and he kind of just has that ability to kind of just dominate you and just pull you around the octagon and kind of just do what like the fuck he wants with you, sort of thing. He's got so much strength in his body that he can just lift you up. We saw it in his last fight. He can just lift you up and just walk you about the octagon and just ragdoll you about. So I do believe that Khamzat is going to win this fight, and I think that does put him in potential line for the next title shot if Usman fights Leon Edwards, or he might even nick the title shot off Leon Edwards and be fighting for the belt next. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win that fight? And let me know down below. Next up, we've obviously got the big rivalry at the moment with Petr Yan, the interim champion, and Aljamain Sterling, the champion. I mean, some people don't think he's the champion because obviously of how he won the belt. It was obviously a shit way to win the belt. You don't want to win the belt that way. However, he is the champion. He is the undisputed champion of the world of the bantamweight division. However, he faces Petr Yan, who most people say is probably the best bantamweight that we have ever seen. And my prediction for this fight, the thing that Aljo's kind of said in the build up to this fight is that's the best Petr Yan we've seen, and that was the worst Aljamain Sterling we've seen. So given that, I like Aljamain Sterling, I really do, and I think he has got the potential. I mean, he choked out Corey Sandhagen. I think if Aljamain Sterling can potentially take the fight to the floor, there is a very, very good chance he would be able to dominate Petr Yan on the floor and potentially choke him out. So I am going to go with an Aljamain Sterling victory by submission. And the final one is Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to make this really fucking quick. I'm going to go with Volkanovski. I love Volkanovski, and I think he's just so well-rounded and has such a big heart, can do everything in that octagon. I think he's just going to overpower and overcome the Korean Zombie and stay the undisputed champion.